Before we get into today's episode of Average Thought Podcast, I need you to sit with something for a second. The decisions that you make today, this week, in the next year are writing your future, not in some motivational pastor way, like literally, spiritually, financially, scientifically. And for most of us, we find out way too late in the chapter before we even realize this. Let's go ahead and have a conversation about this situation that we got of making future decisions. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Blue, and this is the channel where we find the truth, seek understanding, and be the light. And this video that we have today has been brought to my attention by none other than my homie young Philo. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Big boss, what's going on? How you doing? How you feeling?
Yes, sir. What's happening, bro?
Not much. So you threw to my attention this interesting video. This is from Smart Money Bro. And the title says, I'm 55 now. If you're in your 20s or your 30s, watch this. I know he's big on financial stability and making the best decisions when it comes to just living in America. How you come across this video?
Bro, I'm not going to lie, bro. These videos just find me. Like, I just got on YouTube and it was recommended. I've never actually seen this guy before.
Oh, yeah.
His channel. Yeah. I didn't know him before.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, it was recommended to me. And I saved it in my watch later until I had some time to watch it. You know what I'm saying?
That's lit. I like it. Yeah, I've seen a couple of his videos, and homie speaking facts. He's speaking true facts, especially now that I'm getting older. And I actually remember him when he probably didn't even have this much gray hair on his chin. So, I mean, the homie looked like he living all right. He doing all right. But let's go ahead and get into his videos. He talks about several different topics, and we're going to touch on each of them. I got a couple questions for my boy, young Philo, and we just going to talk it out and see how it's like. The average person way. All right, let's check this thing. Started way too early. All right.
Guys, I'm 55 years old now. If you're in your 20s or your 30s, I want to share something with you that I had to learn over the years. And I wish I learned it sooner. And it's this. Your 20s are going to decide your 40s, and your 30s are going to decide your 50s. And here's why I say that. Let me just share a few things with you that I had to learn.
Okay, so starting off, he already said a lot. Just the idea of your 20s affects your 40s and your 30s affects your 50s. And it's a crazy idea when we think about it. A lot of people don't even think that far into the future when they're younger. That's a whole different topic that I'm not going to get into right now. But when you're young, a lot of times we're not even like worrying about the next 10 years. In most cases, it's very rare that you have somebody that's like thinking down the line. So a question for you is, when you were 18 or 19, were you even thinking about your 40s? What they were going to be like, or were you kind of just living?
I wasn't thinking that far. At 18, I can recall thinking about like my 20s max, what it would be like.
20s max.
After 20, like 30, 40, I was not thinking about that, bro. That's gray area.
That's what your gray hairs.
Yeah, exactly. Both ways. But I mean, yeah, as far as like high school, 18, I was mostly worried about what's currently happening. There was a lot going on. But as far as the future, like 20s at most.
20s was the latest. It was the nearest thing that you was concerned about right now. Something close enough that was kind of tangible that you knew was gonna come like that.
Yeah.
Not nothing way off down the line, long term goals or anything like that. I wasn't even part of the picture.
I mean, yeah, like as far as high school, I know as a kid it's always like, oh, I want to be this when I grow up. I can see myself being in the NBA at 30.
Yeah. You already know.
You know what I'm
Black
saying?
kids, we about to become hoopers.
Exactly, bro. Like that was elementary. But by the time I was 18, I was really, because you know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. You're graduating high school. Everybody has to worry about what the college they're going to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Making applications, what type of job, career path they want to choose. So I feel like at that stage of life, it was more centered around, because it's a pivotal point. It was centered around what's happening right now, because what I do right now is going to determine my future. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? Like leaving high school to get into college, it was like, okay, I need to figure out what I'm doing, what degree I want to pursue.
So with that in mind, You think it's a capacity thing? Not to say that, people are limited in, their thought process and their future decision making, but at that time, we're not taught to think that far ahead, type thing. We kind of just going for the next move, whatever the next thing is. It's not really an idea. I don't think we're really raised to think way far off into the future.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting because I definitely recall my parents. These Haitian parents are crazy, man. Maybe Caribbean parents, I don't know what it is, but it's always like the whole make sure you do good in school so that you can grow up, be a doctor and lawyer. I guess that's that's when your 30s or 40s type stuff. Make the big money so you can buy the car. But that was always just a mindset from that point. It was never anything more than that. Oh no, man.
That's a good point, bro. Because they're making you focus on what you want to become, and they only giving you 3 options. You got to choose from that. But even the belief, bro, this opens up so many different avenues of conversation, because the simple fact that, you know what I'm saying, at the time, that was the belief. That's so like, okay, you got to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, and you got to go to college, and this is the path to be successful. Bro, the economy has changed over time. Dramatically. So it would be ignorant to even believe that past tactics would be untouched and still be foolproof with different realities and different societies at different times. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? That what we got growing up off of that is outdated. That's how I see it.
Yeah?
That's how I see it.
Because I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, the stability of the nurses, the engineers, the doctors, and the lawyers. I feel like everybody that I knew that stuck to those roles are still doing well. Okay, so let me ask this: when it comes to those roles specifically, we know people that are engineers, we know people that are nurses. I don't know a doctor yet. There's somebody that I knew growing up that's like my age, that's a doctor yet. But I know a couple of lawyers, and it's all hard work. Do you think that as Haitian immigrants, or parents of Haitian immigrants, or kids of Haitian parent immigrants, you know what I mean? Anyways, do you think that we were all capable of achieving those goals?
Specifically acquiring like lawyer, doctor degrees.
Right.
Capable, overly capable.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, to do it. I feel like, now I could be understanding your question wrong, but I think the question is, not your question, but my question would be the fact of the matter of whether you want to do it or whether, you know what I'm saying? Like where the capability is there, especially with Haitian people.
Yeah.
We're very resilient. But it's a different conversation when you're considering what draws you or drives you.
Right.
And makes you feel like you're in your purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if you're not even... Because I feel like the reason those are even options, bro, to be real, is because they're the high paying.
Yeah.
That's really it. If they weren't...
Haitians wouldn't be rocking with it like that.
Exactly. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just so happens for the time being, which is why I say it was outdated, becoming a lawyer just so happens to be hard to do with all the school, and it's very expensive, this, that, and the third. But it's still a high earning position or profession.
Right.
With the AI and everything else, bro, we're moving into an age where there's high paying professions that don't cost. The cost is not as high as going to law school.
Near as high.
Bro, and better yet, the probability of you finding work and being successful in the field is not as risking as law school or doctors or stuff like that. Some of those jobs that are coming up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just a shift in the economy, what's going on.
So with that same mindset about finding something that you pretty much rock with those decisions that people make in order to choose, their field, even if it goes against the Caribbean norm of lawyer, doctor, what's the other one? Engineer. How do I want to phrase this? Is there oh, right. Okay, so going back to the choosing your major and you rock with, so there's this, so the idea that I'm seeing nowadays, especially when I was in college, was that you just go with whatever it is that you feel like, that do what makes you happy. I feel like that's kind of a new generation idea when I was growing up, because as you can see with a lot of adults that they are, and not even just talking about like Haitians, even like the Black American, the white Americans and all that stuff, they all I don't know why I keep saying Black American.
And with the Haitian accent, bro. I was just thinking about it, bro.
Oh my gosh, yo.
Bro, that's real.
That's just a new door for me, yo.
Bro, it had me wondering, like, bro, why do we do that? Like, is it because we all constantly hear Haitians say it?
Oh, I think so, but now it's like, now low key, I feel it's like the derogatory towards that.
Bro, no. Bro, you in my head at this point, bro.
Yo, because I'm out here saying, oh yeah, white American and the Black American.
Facts. But even though they even have a like derogatory Haitian way to say white American, they just say blanc.
They just say blanc, yeah.
When blanc, yo, sa blanc,
Yo, Creole, bro. Creole's crazy.
You know what blanc did. For real.
Oh gosh. All right. So even with the Americans, like back in the day, generations before me, or the generation before me, the idea was that, you worked with whatever can get you the money so that you can get your American dream type things. And you see a lot of people that dislike where they work. Heck, even like the people that were like a couple years older than me, because of COVID, they ended up realizing, they really do not like their job. And COVID helped them pivot and start something else, start a business, or start a different line of work and whatnot. So with that being said, do you think that it's bad to just stick with what you know, as opposed to doing something that will get you what it is that you need, just as a means to an end?
Yo, that's loaded. That's a loaded question because, bro, it's a survival tactic at the end of the day to do exactly what you need to do that doesn't gratify you or it tastes good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the moment, but it's keeping you afloat, right? That's the benefit of that aspect. You're safe. You have a roof. You getting money to feed yourself and your family. You might not enjoy your job, but you're stable. There's the benefit of that. There's a benefit of doing what you want to do, right? Or let's say what your passion is that may not financially aid you the same that a regular job would, right?
Right.
The benefit of going that route is it takes longer most of the time for people, but the return is like a far greater return if it becomes successful, or when. You know what I'm saying? Once it becomes successful, it's like, okay, now I'm doing something I love. It doesn't drain me.
Right.
And I'm able to, or it's gotten to a level that is sustaining my life. And that's the benefit. But the con of that, it takes a long time, or it's unstable in the beginning stages because you're unsure when it's going to happen or if it'll happen at all. And then the downside of choosing a job or something that's not as gratifying to your soul or your mind, you risk burnout over time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like your mental state, you're not going to be as much of a personality as you could be towards other people. To yourself, every day just goes by, you're going either check to check, or even if it's not paycheck to paycheck, but it's something that's like just keeping you afloat.
Yeah.
But you don't enjoy it at all. Like imagine that job, for example, that you had to do that you knew, but it wasn't fun. It was like a warehouse job, not even slave hours, 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays, right? But it's what you know. And you're at a point where you got kids, you don't have time to sit there and try to pursue a dream that can very much come true later, but you don't have that time right now.
Because you got to put in work. You got to going off of a whim just to maybe who wants to put their kids at risk. That's a high risk move.
Exactly.
Putting your kids at risk of being able to have food at the table.
That's the main motivator.
So going back to the point that you made in regards to burnout, and I was thinking of something because, of course, this is kind of a mini left turn, not even a mini left turn. It's like a roundabout to what we were just saying. When it comes to burnout, that normally happens. Okay, we see that. We also hear on occasions, not all the time, not as well, but I definitely hear sometimes, or the idea that people choose not to make their hobby a business and they no longer want to do it anymore. And I don't know if you've gotten to that point yet. You're still young, you still have other jobs and pursuits and stuff like that. Do you think there's a difference, or how do you find the difference between love as work versus deciding to not do something because it's like, how do you find the difference? Because me, I love IT. I wake up to go to work just fine, no problem. How does that differ from somebody that's a painter and that love paint, is really great at painting, and then somebody getting the idea to start a business or something like that, or sewing for that matter? So how do we navigate through deciding that?
I think that is subjective to each individual because it's gonna sway based on how they feel emotionally about where they are or how they go about things. So me, what I would do in a situation like that, because it's very real, where you could be doing something over and over again, or it could have been something you loved, but like you said, being overworked. If that's the case, then it's gotten to a point where I've had enough of the flavor. It's got stale. It's just not fun anymore, right?
Right.
Whether I get paid or not. I think overdoing something is just gonna dry it out. Now, so the way I approach those situations is I find something else that already intrigued me in the back of my mind. And when I feel like, all right, this is like a dead beat horse at this point, let me try doing this other thing and invest some time into seeing how it goes. Because if I have the option to, right, and money's not holding me back from making a switch, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time, I'm going to just switch over, change something, you know what I'm saying? Find my next. I'm just kind of setting up my future in that way, where I have like a set amount of years where I try this thing. Like for 5-10 years, I'm going to master bass one day, one decade. Or I'm going to master like keys when I get around to it.
Yeah.
Just so I could keep my interest flowing and life spicy, but also my mental capability and capacity sharp. So I'm automatically putting myself in a position to not get like tired of something, because I already feel like I'm the type of person that would really get tired doing one thing all the time, bro.
I'm the same way. My job, to where there's, like I was talking about earlier, how we have different products that we deal with. I'm glad that I have different products as one product, because that's stuff. It eventually starts to get boring, and once you like fully get an understanding of it, it's like you're working. It's like you're working brain dead. It's not brain dead, but like you're able to turn off your brain and work, and there's not really much growth to it. There's no enjoyment out of it. And so because we have so many products that we work with, there's always something new every day. And I tell you, bro, when I used to work these were tough times. And this is talking about back in my youth. This is when I was in college, and when I would come home for the summer to make whatever scrap money that I could possibly make. I worked at a recycling plant. So they would come in with the dump trucks, unload them. They would go up the conveyor belt, and I would just stand at the conveyor belt for hours, just sifting through trash, putting the cardboard on this one, recycling's on the other side, just letting all the regular trash go through. Bro, after like a week, I was just about losing my mind, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it got crazy because I went on a trip to Carolina.
Myrtle Beach?
Myrtle Beach, yeah. Dang, I don't know why I couldn't remember. We were driving to Myrtle Beach, and it was like a 7-hour drive. And as we're driving, it was like 5th hour, 6 hours. And I almost had a panic attack in the car, because I'm just sitting there thinking like, yo, if I was at work right now, this whole time that we've been in the car, I just would have been sifting trash.
Bruh.
I'm like, I gotta get.
you don't realize how long, like how much time,
Bro, so much
being-
hours of just same thing over and over and over again, and it's like
Yeah, and that same amount of time you crossing state lines.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Maybe I was just thinking too deep into it at that point.
you was
but
definitely deep into it, bro. That was deep thinking for sure.
I'm just
But it's
sitting in the
real.
car, not even doing nothing. I'm just thinking about it. And let's say I know I feel like palpitations and like my head's starting to get dizzy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this can't be real right now, and I gotta find something else quick. But those are decisions that I had to make back then. Unfortunately, nothing else is pulling, so I had to do what I had to do. Unfortunately, and then working at the chicken factory.
Chick-fil-A, bro.
Nah, not Chick-fil-A, the chicken factory.
Oh, the chicken factory?
Yeah.
What's that? That's a restaurant?
Nah, it's like where they go and they processing all the chicken. They
Oh,
got
like an
chickens
actual factory.
Yeah, the actual. They
thought
got
it was
one
like a
off
name.
they got one in Norcross.
Okay.
I feel like all the Haitians go there now, maybe. But yeah, man, it was tough because I think that was the next summer when I still couldn't find work at school, and I ended up coming home and trying to find something real quick. And so I managed to get that spot. And it was bad because I had to get boots for work. I was broke. All I had was Tim's, so I had to use my Tim's to work, bro.
Yo, the beige ones?
Yes, He's got
GGs.
these GG. Straight GGs, man. What I tell you, I was sick afterwards, man.
Yo, say
Them
you
jokes
not
got
only
destroyed.
sacrifice your time, your mental capacity, and your energy.
I
you
just
sacrificed your
my
Timbs.
Timbs that I had clean. I had them Timbs for college since probably my sophomore in high school, about 7 years.
God,
And then just like that, within the second day, bro, it was just I had chicken juices all over them, man. Whew. All that to say, the level of sacrifice that I had to do to find work just to be able to pay for. I don't even know what I could have paid for. Oh, rent, because of the decision I had to pay rent for school. Yeah, talk about segues. Okay.
for real.
Okay, so let's go to this next question that I have for you, and can be as impersonal or whatever you want to be. So, what's the one decision that you made in the last year that you already feel the weight of, good or bad?
One decision.
Yeah.
Oh,
or if
snap.
you have several.
That's real, bro. Because, man, what? I know one came to mind. Bro, okay, I'm gonna be kind of. This one doesn't get too specific
Okay.
in a sense. So I want to say, even like this, me deciding to get a job at Discount Tire when I did, and or not leaving earlier than I did, definitely impacted the near future to come, like 2-3 months ahead of that time. You know what I'm saying? Which at this point was like 3 months ago. So in total, like 6 months. The decision I made was last year or a year and a half ago. That's when I was like, I don't have a job. I haven't been working for a year. I'm still in school, but I have this plan to move. I need to get a job while I'm working on school. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done it before, but I took a year away from that. So when I got the job, it was just whatever I could find. The pay wasn't that great, but it was a lot of work. And it got me to where I needed as far as savings for what my goal was.
Right.
But the longer I stayed, the more it hindered my growth. It became max capacity. Like for the lifetime of that job or me having that job, it'd be most healthy to be there for the first year, max.
Right.
And then after that, try to get something different.
Yeah.
Because when I kept that job after graduating, stuck in it, and instead actually opened up my availability to work more. So replacing my class time with more work at this job. And then moving, having all those bills rack up now, I had the savings up. The income to debt ratio was in balance. So every check every month, it was closing in to the point where I became more in debt and I was missing payments and stuff. And so I had to realize me staying here is actually making me broke. Even though it became to the point where it'd be better if I had no job, if I wasn't working here, than if I kept working here. Like that's how it came to my mind for me to be like, okay, I need to make this decision to leave, because if I don't, I'm not going to grow.
Right.
I'm going to keep falling into this pattern of missing or being late to a payment.
Yeah.
So what good is staying here under the notion that, oh, as long as I'm getting money, it's better than nothing. Sometimes, bro, nothing is better than whatever that situation was. That's what that taught me. Because me having no job opened my availability up to, number one, searching for new jobs, two, making monies through gigs in different ways that would pay me better for the time being.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my time was in my control at that point. And literally, bro, it didn't take a week, 2 weeks for me to end up finding another job that paid me $4 more. And then the next month, another job that paid me $6 more. If I didn't leave, I was not going to find those blessings, bro. No cap.
That's crazy that you said that, because it took some time, but what's interesting is that, like, I got to my job now and my previous job because of the influence of Josh, Stanley, and Doobie. They were encouraging me to leave Gwinnett County because the fact that if I was at that point, I didn't have any kids yet. If I was with kids in a house, I would need it. And when I was working with Gwinnett County, I'm like, yo, I'm good. I'm making an amount, you know, especially like what I do. There's nowhere that's really going to like pay me more than that. Was my thought process. There was nowhere that was going to pay me as much as I can right now. I get good benefits when I retire and stuff like that. Like, I'm just set. And then Casey became pregnant. I was like, oh, hold on. This is actually interesting now.
Yeah.
Casey became pregnant, and that was during the time that we did just buy the new house, and we got finessed with a whole bunch. And mind you, like, I did so much research. Like, I feel like I started to know more than realtors by the time we had actually got the house. But then the whole taxes and property taxes and those like randomly skyrocketing for some reason, that threw us off completely, and that was not calculated in the budget. And then at that point I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely need a new job at this. And they kind of got me at the idea of, and what really was the issue was that I was holding myself back because of the situations that I had been in the past. When I got my first job working with a software company, I got let go from that job. And mind you, this was like a week after I had bought Casey's engagement ring. That's when I got let go. And then while I was searching for jobs, I was doing contract jobs. And then I ended up working with doing contract with Comcast. I was up at the Battery, fixing up all their computers, getting everything set up because the building was just getting, finalized and whatnot. And they was telling me, you do a great job, all this and the third. And it seemed like it was promising me a position because of how diligent I worked and all that. And so when the position had opened up, applied to it, didn't get it. So then I was working a couple more contract jobs and stuff. But then it was really that idea of, this is Gwinnett County. They're big on making sure that everybody works the hours they work. I mean, they what was it that they said? Their big selling point was that they don't fire people. They don't let people go. If they need to relocate you to another school, then they'll do that. Each school has their own like kind of budget type thing, but they don't fire people. When we were having the market crash in 2008, while a whole bunch of people was being laid off, instead of laying people off, they just decreased some people's salaries for a little bit, and then eventually it came back up. But that's the last thing that they do, and that's what sold me, because I'm like, yeah, I'm getting tired of being let go, being tired of being told this, that, and the third of, oh, you're gonna get the job, but then you don't get it, all that stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, I'm set, and that was my mindset. But limited me, especially with the things that I was trying to do, the moves that I was trying to make. That salary just wasn't gonna cut it, and I couldn't wait. I had a new kid on the way, so ended up they finally convinced me to go apply for the job, a corporate job. Ended up getting a corporate job, get experience from that, and then that also played a big factor in me getting this job right now. Will this be my last job? I mean, it definitely can be. I wouldn't be upset with it of how great it is. That doesn't mean that if something better doesn't growth that I'm not gonna take it. I mean, that's just how it is in the corporate world. We can't be afraid to make decisions, or not even just corporate world, just like in life in general. Sometimes we do gotta take that risk and take that leap of faith. Something's gonna work out. Something's gonna bite at some point.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. So you had basically the same story. Like, you had to leave.
I had to.
And you ended up finding something better. Pattern.
Yeah, man. The decision has to be made. Ever since then, I've always been an advocate, and having that mindset, and that's the other big thing, having that mindset that you cannot think that these jobs, these companies are out for your best. You are there to help them do better and the compensation is that they pay you. So you can't just sit here and be like, yeah, this job cares for me, or that, you know, I gotta be loyal to people. I ain't gonna say you ain't gotta be loyal, but at the same time, don't think that you always gonna be cured, because they could let you go at any. You just do what it is that you need to learn as much as you can while you're at it, and just do your best work. And if something comes up, something better comes around, take that opportunity. Or if something better comes around for them, like AI or something, then, you know, they let you go. All right, bet. I'm gonna go to the next spot, see what the next So it's not a thing. So like when Casey, even when she lost her job because of the Trump's big beautiful bill and how it sliced a lot of funding for the nonprofit that she worked with, they let go a whole bunch of people. You know, she was distraught, but I'm like, oh, it's great. New opportunities. You could take your skills elsewhere, and then we'll see what was rocking and stuff. I was excited. She wasn't excited. But
she was excited
she was distraught for a minute. And like, she was like, yeah, I ain't doing no nonprofits after that. I'm like, look, it's just a weird scenario. It's okay. But the idea is moving forward onto the next BRI. Things happen. It's all part of work. I hope this didn't break into one of the other topics that he goes, because okay, so the next question: do you feel like your generation got the blueprint early, or did y'all have to figure it out on the
right, see, like, these questions are, like, what's the word, so broad but heavy, because I could take it at any angle.
Yeah.
I think in general, newer generations always get more of the blueprint earlier on.
Oh yeah.
Than prior generations. That's how I see it, because
I feel it.
Yeah, think about the sibling effect. You have the oldest kid learning things. It's a fresh new slate. I don't know what the rules are, but every move I make, I either get hit or rewarded. So now I know what to do, what not to.
Yeah.
But it took me more time. So now I could look at my younger brother who's at an earlier stage in life, and he's going to learn that same lesson at the same age I did, which is older. So naturally, he gets the blueprint earlier, and then it's a domino effect. So as far as us as a whole, if it works in the house family structure that cleanly, I don't think as a society we're any different. I believe Gen Z got more the blueprint than the millennials, and then millennials got more the blueprint and then like I said, it's a broad. So as far as which concept, when it comes to making money, what makes money, which money is a changing concept itself, so that makes it hard. But how to conduct yourself in public spaces, like, we see what goes wrong and we learn from that. If you're learning from something because you're watching your peers or your older peers, your parents, and you learn from their mistakes, that's you getting the blueprint. So I think if that was your question, I'm not sure.
Yeah, pretty much. Essentially, just like the next generation does better or gets how the older people will be like, well, back in my day, we didn't have this to give us all the information and data.
That part.
So like now, you're able to obtain information. You're able to find a better pathway to maneuver in surviving life as opposed to the previous gen. And I kind of feel that. So now the question becomes, do you feel like your generation is taking advantage of it?
I think if I'm looking at the generation that I see in my proximity, right, in reality, I would say most, like, for my friend group, to use them as a database, bro, majority, if not all of the friend group, I would say majority is definitely using that to their advantage. Man, bump that. Everybody in my friend group. Now, it could be a bias to compare to Gen Z as a whole or my generation as a whole, but from my reality in front of me and not on my phone screen, we take advantage of that blueprint. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna say it, 'cause it's still a broad concept.
And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, that's a broad generation, because I'm looking at cats your age, but then I also got to remember that those that are just getting into college right now are also Gen Z, and even those that are a little older than you are also Gen Z. To me, those are like three different. To me, that's like three different generations, but they're all the same generation. So, bro, it's kind of trippy, because I'm like, I don't think they are, but I'm thinking about the ones that are in college right now, the ones that are either in college or just starting off with college. I don't think they're taking full advantage
of getting
the blueprint, get sources and resources and stuff. But those that are your age range, I feel it. I feel it with them for sure.
I mean, maybe there's levels to it too. Like there could be ways that older generations see, like opportunities that you guys see of what we can do with said resource if you had it at that time. But we
Based
don't
off of
see
the
it.
knowledge that we have.
Exactly. Like if y'all see the opportunity there, but we don't see it.
If
then
I
you could
knew
be like,
about this when I was your age.
yeah, like I would be doing this, that, and the third. And it's like, oh, well, for one, I didn't think about it like that.
Right.
So that's a
right.
good idea. I'll put that, you know what I'm saying? I'll write that down. But I feel like it changes based on your perspective. Yeah. There's always something that you would see that I can't see, which is like the African.
That proverb that we
Yo, fact.
What a man sees sitting down, a young boy can't see sitting on a Tokoya tree or whatever.
See, bro, full circle, like
full circle, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, so maybe there's levels like we feel like we're using it to our best advantage, and you're like, nah, you're missing a part, using it more, which can be very true. You know what I'm saying
that's a word, the wise word for the young folks. Please, we're begging you, just heed what the older people are saying. If you don't do it, just take note. Just take note. That's all I gotta say. Cause there be sometimes these youngins make me feel like gumun. Like I'm like, guys, I'm not that much older than you. Like, I know exactly what you're going through, stuff like that, and I'm telling you, yo, just put whatever you have in your head to the side and do this, and you'll be alright. But they don't want to listen, so I just let them not listen because I didn't listen when I was younger. So it's
because bro,
that's
definitely something an uncle would say, bro. You know, they don't want to listen.
They don't want to listen.
They was saying that. We saying that. Eventually, they gonna be saying that.
Bro, it's I hate nothing's new under the sun.
Under the sun, bro. I was just about to say, bro. No cash.
Shoot, what a world we live in, man.
That makes me think, like, okay, if nothing's new under the sun, and this is how the cycle works, what makes us think we can be bigger than a program and try to make a change in how it is and how people receive things at certain ages? You feel me, bro? What if it's like, all right, in the past it's been this, kids didn't listen to their parents because my dad was telling me how his dad was saying what he's saying to me, this, that, and the third. So it's like, what makes me think it's going to change when I have kids? Like, when I get older, I'll be saying what my parents were saying to them. If it's been happening for that long of a period, that means it's stamped. Not one person can change this thing. So how can it affect me? Is this something that I can't control? How am I going to just maneuver around it? Like, if I know ahead of time, okay, kids don't listen to adults, how am I going to use that knowledge to my advantage instead of trying to know that it's true and fighting against it to make it false?
That's a good point.
You feel me?
I thought about this very same thing when I was graduating college. I was talking to Greg about something like this, and in my head, I'm like, yeah, he's probably not going to listen to me. And I was like, yeah, I also didn't listen. Was telling me I am where I am now. I think the important thing when we're growing, we're learning, or lack thereof, we're getting the wisdom from those older than us. We may fall into that stamped cycle. What's different is how we respond. So in a sense, once I hit that point when I'm like, yep, exactly what my pops had told me, or whoever had said, you know, this was going to happen, that was going to happen. At that point, how I respond gonna be because I was already told, I was informed of this event that was going to happen. I may have allowed it to happen, but then do I make a change? Or do I stay in part of the cycle type of thing? Because I'm thinking about a lot of stuff, and I realized that there are a lot of habits that I do still keep. There are a lot of things that I could have learned and done different had I listened, but I did. But there are also several things that, because I was more aware than maybe some of my peers, I was more thinking ahead than some of my peers, that I didn't make those decisions that could have put me in a terrible position. Okay, let me not say terrible position, an unwanted position. Let me put it like that.
Yeah.
But with that same mind frame, for those situations where I did end up doing the same thing that they had warned me about, I can see that I've made a great pivot in my response, as opposed to allowing it to happen or not really doing anything about it. type thing. I actually put in efforts to change where the path leads after that. And I think that's where, if anything, the importance, if you're not going to make the change immediately, then when the event of what I'm warning you about does come, you either respond quick enough to not get yourself in a worse situation, or if you still experience the situation, you're able to respond so that you make up. That's what I'm.
No, that's layered. I could see it that way.
It's crazy, man. All right, so last question for this section. It turns out that there was an article that came out, a Fortune article that dropped last week, saying that Gen Z is actually saving more than any generation before them at your age, but they're still feeling like they're getting burnt out. Does that resonate with you? You feel like you're doing the right things but still struggling?
Yo, that's crazy, because I made a statement, bro. I put that like on a song. It was a bar, like, why do I feel like no matter what I do, nothing I do is reaping a reward? It was basically the gist of what that line was. But that was only true for that time period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was real to me, because literally, specifically bringing back up that story about my job and the decision question, that's how I felt, because it's a labor job, and labor jobs are formed as if like they were pyramid schemes as far as workload. I feel like maybe all jobs are the same like that, but that model where the regular workers, the bottom position, they get paid the least, but they exert the most physical effort.
Yep.
Like, and the less effort you physically put in this company, the more money you make, the higher your position. You do other things, but you're not physical labor, like, to the death. Like, no cap. The harder you work, the lower you are on the totem pole. Was my reality in that structure, which was obviously like a physical job with a business structure. And now that I'm talking about, I think all business structures are kind of business
for the most part.
Yeah. Like, well, not all businest structures, but most companies we see here are run on that specific business structure. Because there's other ones like affiliate marketing, which is completely kind of different. But anyway, right? It was like the more I was doing, the least I was making, the least reward. Like, and the less I do, the better I do. No cap. And it was frustrating for me, because I was taught hard work pays off. That was not what my reality, that's not what I was seeing to be true at that time. You know what I'm saying? So, but it got to a point where I diverted my effort and put it towards a different trajectory. And it's like, same effort, bro. Same effort it took me to do this like physical labor is the effort that's going into me trying to find a different opportunity or do whatever else. You know what I'm saying? It got me more reward. All I had to do was like change my trajectory, alter it a little bit, aim for something different, step to a different location, and be who I am. And it's not necessarily about working less. So restate that question one more time to make sure I bring it.
So about the generation saved before, but they weren't out struggling. Do you feel the right things, but still struggling? Right.
So as it relates to saving, in that mind state, bro, it didn't feel like I was saving anything. Bro, saving was a luxury, bro. That at best, it was more of one day I'm gonna get there to be able to save. No cap. And so even if we were on paper, because I never seen any statistics, I wouldn't be surprised. But even if we were on paper saving more money than any other generation in relation to the value of the dollar and the cost of living and all of that, it still didn't feel that way, because whatever position I was in, and that's why I think it could be subjective a lot of times to your situation, whether or not you can control your situation. There's so many different reasons, but in that situation, bro, it didn't feel like it for whatever reason until I started making money or reaping some benefits from my efforts, because I shifted my trajectory. And now I don't feel that way. Now it's like I look back on that statement and I'm like, yeah, bro, that was real, but it's not a defining way of life anymore. So if I was able to break out of that means it's not a defining way of life, period. So I can't be like, yeah, bro, the harder you work, the lower you are on the totem pole, no matter what. Like, nah. It's like that in certain environments, and it's up to you to recognize that environment and either play it to your advantage or remove yourself and find a different, more nourishing environment.
A lot of people, they take that term and it's become so generalized to where it's like, okay, if I work hard, then I'm gonna be rewarded. So that means if I'm at this job and I just work diligent hard, and it's like, no, that's not entirely what we're saying.
Yeah.
To a degree, yes, you work hard, you do your job well and stuff, but that also learning more at the job, that also that and find something else that you get more money, then you gotta put in the work to find something else. So that in part comes with working. Even networking alone is hard work. So it's just the mindset of the grind has to keep going even outside of your day-to-day work. It goes with communications with other people. It goes with everything that you're learning, the proper networking stuff. All of those require some work, sacrifice. You have to do more than, and that's how you're able to really reap those rewards. Now, there's some people in the job, if they work diligently, then they benefit. But I think that comes with to have that idea, that mindset of let's say I'm working at Chick-fil-A and I'm the best at breading. I'm like, God, I got breading. Don't worry, guys, I got it. And just because I'm breading doesn't mean they go make. I ain't gonna get manager to do breading. I gotta know how to do all the other positions of stock. I gotta know how to properly get the food prep, get the food ready, when to cook, when's the best time to drop more bread, be able to pick somebody's shift, increase my diligence in doing all this shit. Then you move up to. But I guess the one real tip when it comes to folks to figure out who manager, what can I do to get to your position so that you can actually work towards that. Of course, my always rule of thumb is to be great at what you're doing, figure that part out, to get into a cycle, go ahead and start learning from whoever in a higher position. Is there other tasks that I can do? Because once you've shown that you're efficient at what, then they'll allow you to be more responsible for stuff. And even if they don't hire you, you now have that skill set to where you can just go somewhere else.
Bro, that's actually the proper way of moving up anywhere you are. If you know what I'm saying, if that's what you desire, is to move up, identify that this area or this environment is the environment you want to grow in. Those are the steps. Like, naturally, those are the only steps to go about it. Well, maybe not the only ways, but it's the number one way to go about moving up. Lean into what you're being taught, master it. If there's anything else on your level in your sight, master those. And then once you've mastered whatever is on your level, you're supposed to lean in, like you said, lean into supervision, or in bigger and like more broad concept terms, your teacher or your lead, like the person that's your higher up, essentially is the one that's supposed to guide you in the next direction. If they control your pay, your schedule, whatever it is, they know how to do the job better than you. They know the company. Lean into their knowledge. More than likely, it doesn't have to be an age thing, like we said last time, but most of the time it's somebody older, so it's literally the example of learning, asking, seeking knowledge from your elders. Technically, it's an elder no matter what age, because if they know more than you, it's because they're there for longer. Right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then you ask the questions, which you have to be vocal for, like you said, and then you eventually talk yourself up the ladder. You talk and work yourself up the ladder. And
that network is anything higher now, bro. Talking right. It's the world we live in right now. It's less so of the
relationship.
Yeah. All right.